It's always good coming back. I love this tournament back when it was the Buick Open, and there's a reason I always say there's a reason why I made this kind of my first Champions Tour event here at Ally. I've always loved the golf course. I always feel like coming back to Flint and the Grand Blanc area has been fun. We got a lot of support from the community, and I've always liked this golf course. I've had a lot of success here in the past, and so it's always fun coming back to a place that brings back good memories.
Yeah, I have a question. Now, usually you come in here, the last couple of years you were on fire, you had great stats. I was looking today and I was like, you've had a tough run of tournaments so far this year.
I have, and I've been off for the last, I don't know, 8 to 10 weeks. So I've been kind of nursing a back injury, something that's been kind of bothering me for about the last year and a half. And really when I came in here last year, I really hadn't been playing very well. But coming in 20 and 21, my game was in good shape. I was ready to go. Had some pretty good finishes, and just been kind of battling my health a little bit. So, kind of tried to address that the last 10 weeks. I'm nowhere near 100%, but being Warwick Hills, being the Ally Challenge, it's something I wanted to come try to see where I'm at.
So does the doctor, backs are tough. I got a back problem, but you're making a living with you playing golf. Do they tell you to kind of stay off that, or they give you like a regimented routine so that you can come out here on fire?
It's a first for me as well. I've had some wrist surgeries and some injuries along the way, but I've been very, very lucky with my back throughout my career. Never really had a lot of issues. I'm not really in a lot of pain. I'm just not very strong, and so I lost a lot of strength and kind of in my right side, and I think it's caused some bad habits in my golf swing, and so really I think first just getting diagnosed and quit being stubborn and going to the doctor and kind of figuring out that okay, there's something wrong. And now trying to figure out, how to get better is kind of the key. So I'm still putting the puzzle pieces together. They don't want me out there playing golf if I'm in pain or if I'm, pounding things and making it worse. But I've been trying to do a lot of PT and get a little stronger, and I've had a couple of injections already, and so just trying to put the puzzle pieces together and figure it out, and as I say, kind of the rest of this year I'll use hopefully to gain some momentum, maybe figure out some things for 24. And my goal, in a perfect world, I could kind of hit the ground running, maybe be a little healthier in 24, kind of understand what my limitations are, what I can do, and maybe see some positive things in my golf game.
Yeah. A few years ago, the year you won the tournament, you'd mentioned that nobody hits the ball as far as they did in their 20s and 30s out here. It was the equipment that kind of, you hit the ball as far as you ever have because of equipment?
For me personally, yes.
Okay, for you personally. Is that still the same? Do you think that with your back improving in that?
No. I've lost the last, when I was 50, I hit it every bit as far. In fact, the stats on tour show when I was 49-50, I think I averaged 281 yards on tour. My longest ever was 282. So at my oldest, I was as long as I ever was off the tee on an average, and I hadn't really lost any distance on my irons. Now, 3 years later, and especially the last year and a half, I've definitely lost some distance and some speed, and I think equipment's helped everyone, whether you're 25 or whether you're 55, but there still are guys like Patty Harrington that's probably creating more speed now, right, clubhead speed, than he ever was because he trains for it, right? There's some ways that guys know how to kind of train to get stronger, faster, and create speed in their swing, and there's guys that really believe in that. Patty's one of them, and he's still, he's bombing it. He flies the ball 300 yards, and equipment obviously helps, but that's a good, it's a good athlete, and we have bigger, stronger athletes now as well.
What's it like to play in a tree-lined course like Warwick Hills that has like more of that old school kind of feel to it?
I love it. That's what I grew up on, and I grew up in eastern Pennsylvania, and so playing a lot of tree-lined golf courses, for me it kind of frames the hole well for you. A lot of green sloping back to front, trying to keep the ball below the hole. Standing on say I went to school in Arizona, so standing on, say, a desert golf course where there aren't a lot of trees and there's nothing vertical to frame a hole, it's a different look. And so it was something that took me a long time to get used to, because I'm used to kind of having we'll say some goalposts on either side that you can use as kind of a reference. It's easier to aim, I believe, and I think it makes you focus a little bit more on spots in the fairways.
I got a question. Jim, I understand you're getting a little bit into golf course design.
Yeah.
So, Pete Dye is notorious for saying golf is not an easy game. Why build an easy golf course? I understand that your philosophy is a little different than that.
Pete made a great living, and obviously one of the most famous architects of his era, if not the most famous. His golf courses were very difficult. I think they were deceiving to the eye. They made you uncomfortable. Most people did not come close to shooting their handicap on a Pete Dye golf course, but they tended to love that, and he kind of thrived on that as well. And so I think one of the things that Mr. Dye was so good at was tackling difficult pieces of property. TPC at Sawgrass was really a bunch of swampland, and so he made something pretty darn good out of a very subpar piece of soil. And so that was kind of his claim to fame, and moved a lot of dirt and moved stuff around. You know, I think when you're building a golf course, one, I like to have fun on the golf course. So what you said is true. I want to build a golf course that's fun to play for, that not only for golf professionals or low handicappers, but that's a very minute, small amount of the golf population. And so I think for a large part of the golf population to enjoy your golf course, it's got to be playable for everyone. But I think you see that even in a course like this at Warwick Hills. You can bring the best players and some Hall of Famers out here, and we can have a tournament, and it can be challenging. But I think your average member can get around this golf course and have a good time as well. And so I think that's key. Also, I think when you're building a golf course, what's most important is what does the owner want? What do the members want? You're building the golf course for someone. What do they want? And I think so when we're critical sometimes probably of golf architects as players, we're not really sure what was set out to happen originally. You know, the owner may have said, I want you to make the toughest, hardest, I don't care if it's fair or not, I want you to penalize the best players in the world, and they do sometimes. But in the case of the design that I'm doing, and as you mentioned in Port St. Lucie, it's a project called Glen Lea. It's a neighborhood that's kind of targeting 55 and over. The back tees are going to be 6,700 yards. I don't think we're going to have many people back there, right? We're going to have a lot of people that are playing 6,200 and forward, and so we're keeping that in mind with the homes that they're building, the folks that are building the golf course. You know, they have a vision of how they want their golf course to play. It's my job to kind of take that vision and put it into the dirt and make a golf course that's really fun, challenging, but it's accessible for a lot of different people. And so we're really keeping kind of the forward tees in mind a lot. When too often the forward tees get shoved in bad areas, bad angles. So we're trying to, as the tees move forward, we're trying to make the shot maybe have a little bit better angle and be a little bit more accessible and let some folks have some fun.